Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Scouts Coffee Chat Live. I've got my coffee cup here. I'm in a new location today, visiting some family in Philadelphia. So if you hear a cute little dog barking, I might have to see if I can get him onto the screen. But we'll see there. I'm just super excited today because I've such a good friend and colleague, someone who I've been working with for the past 3 years, even though it feels like a lifetime.
That's for
Um,
sure.
yeah, been all over the country with, and spent many long days, nights running to FedEx, printing things out, figuring things out on the fly. I've got Sarah. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit
Yeah,
here?
sure. Thanks, Jimmy. I'm so excited. I was asked to join this. At first, I was like, I don't think so. And then I was like, okay, cool. Why not? But my name is Sarah. I've been at Scout for 3+ years at this point, Barracuda, I should say. And yeah, I've been working closely with Jimmy ever since. And obviously the whole marketing team. So I was recently promoted to sales manager. I don't know how the team here is familiar with our inner working terms, but like our farmer team. So that's the Jim Pellegrinos. David, I've heard a lot about you. Like, I feel like I know you in a creepy way where we don't know each other, but I do know you.
I'll take it as a win. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sarah.
just let you know I know you. So I got recently promoted to the farmer manager team, and I'm super excited. Helping roll out, just that next iteration as we're becoming more sophisticated in terms of how we're going to market the things our partners needs. I was a farmer for 3 years, channel account manager, I should probably say, but helping grow the relationships, helping our partners sell, helping our partners honestly make a ton of money. So having been one of the first farmers to help create the MSP program, hand in hand with Jimmy and Aiden, I recently got promoted. I'm really excited about it. So so that's me. I'm happy to meet everybody and tell you, what's worked for me, what's worked for my business and my book of business and my partners. And I'd love to know more about you and how I can help now that I'm navigating kind of the next iteration of the team. So any feedback you have, any things you want, like pie in the sky, no dream too big, like let's see if we can make it done.
I love it, Sarah. So Sarah spent 10 years or 15 years in New York City, in Manhattan?
Oh God.
10?
Well, I grew up in Long Island, so I always was kind of city, but
Yeah.
and then I lived in the city since 10 years, from 2009 to 2019. Yeah.
So grew up on Long Island, 10 years in Manhattan, and then moves to Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
She's got an SUV now.
Two.
She's two SUVs. She's got multiple bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, the whole
3
deal.
bedrooms, 3 baths, all for like 80% less than what I was paying in Manhattan. It's remarkable.
Sarah,
And a backyard. And a
what was that like? What was it like moving from New York City to Houston, Texas? Mind you, which is still like the 4th largest city in the United States. So
yeah, it is. So it was weird, really weird. Like this entire experience has been very strange. I'm not going to lie. We moved here. So my husband's a professor at Rice University in the computer science department. So he got this job opportunity. And I don't know if you know anybody in academia, like bless their soul, but job market is like insane there. So whatever he got, we were taken. So we packed the bags and moved to Texas. 2 years ago, 3 months before the pandemic, I literally found out I was pregnant with my first child the weekend the world shut down in Texas with no family around. And it was just a very strange experience in and of itself. I mean, it was strange before I found I was pregnant. We were in a pandemic, but there's a lot of things about Texas that are so bizarre to me. And that's coming from New York. There's, in Texas, there's no state and city tax. So I come from New York City where there's federal, state, city tax. Just going to Texas where there's just federal tax. And I'm like, I don't understand how we have roads and schools and firemen and police. Like, explain that to me. Like, where are they getting paid? How are they getting paid? Parking is like a really weird thing here too, because everyone has these crazy big cars and it's such a big city with these big cars and everyone drives everywhere. So like parking is like Game of Thrones, like good luck. Like you enter the supermarket, like Game of Thrones, Hunger Games, like bless you. There's just a lot of strange things. There's also no zoning laws here, which I found to be really weird too. Like my first block, we lived next door to a dentist, like in the middle of a like completely residential area, like house, dentist, house, like clothing store, house, like mechanic. I'm like, okay. Coming from New York where it's like super, like with the zoning, like you can't have like a church near a bar, or like you can't live near, this far away from a bar. I just thought it was, oh, okay. So maybe it's some things. See, I'm still learning because I spent the last 2 years indoors in the pandemic, having been pregnant and a first-time mom. So yeah, it's just a strange, like, I feel like a stranger in a strange land. I really do. Made some friends through, like, now my son is in daycare, which has been a whole experience in and of itself. And most of my friends are not really from Texas, to be honest. So it's like, we're all like these like strangers living here in such a wild time. So yeah, that's what it's like to be a New Yorker in Texas with no family and a pandemic and a baby.
That's great. I mean, I love the Game of Thrones at the supermarket.
It is. Good luck. Like if it's not someone slamming the car into your car, it's like the pickup trucks with like, they don't even have 4 wheels. They have like 6, those types. Like, I don't even know the names, but in Texas, actually, they have like Texas editions of pickup trucks. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's your favorite. They have like the Ford, 7500 Texas line. And I'm like, oh, like that is wild to me. And also I live in Houston, like proper city. It's not like I live in the middle of Texas. So it was just a very bizarre situation for me. Like, I thought I was going to move here and buy a Prius, by the way. I was like, oh, I'll get a Prius. Like I'll do, my carbon footprint. And my husband's like, no. We need to at least be able to defend our own. So, and then another thing. So I don't know if you've ever driven in Texas. So it's like just two extremes in one, like they meet. So it's like this Southern hospitality, like, no, you go, like overly like polite, which is in driving is like not good, right? Because you're like, are you going or am I going? And then it's met with like aggression. So it's like the polite and aggression. And I'm like, I don't have a space for me here. I'm like somewhere in between. And that's like, again, may the odds be in your favor. And also, okay, so you just opened up a whole big thing. But also on the highways, people just like strap whatever to their trucks. Like it's like Final Destination. I don't know if anyone knows that 90s reference of like the opening scene every day. And like, I'm going to start taking pictures of what I see in trucks, like huge, like 100-year-old, like oak tree, like, I don't even know what you call it, like hanging out the back, like dangling. The amount of times I've seen things fall, like actual things fall off pickup trucks and like wiggle through the highway in 2 years, I can't even count. And I've never seen that in my life before. It's just no rules, no anything. Like, may the odds be in your favor. And there's this major highway called 610 where it's 18 lanes. So 18 lanes. It's like, or maybe 19. It's like 8. I can't even do math right now. It's like, no, it's like 8, and then 2 middle lanes, whatever that math is, 18. So, I grew up in New York where there's 3 lanes. There's a fast lane, a middle lane, and an exit lane. This is like, the middle is like, good luck.
I opened up a whole can of worms with this.
Yeah, exactly. And also, wait, there's so many things. So vanity plates is like also a big thing here. And I have a folder on my phone of like Texas vanity plates. I'm totally improvising this entire thing, but do you want me to read some out?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, hold on. Because they're really good. My husband thinks it's so annoying when I take these pictures, but I knew this would help me sometime. So here's, I don't know if you could see. This is my neighbor, actually. It's Texas Strong. You can't see.
Texas Strong. Okay, I like
Texas
that.
Strong. Then this one's like a souped up Range Rover, and it's called NASDAQ. Then this one, I don't know what, I think it's and it's called Dr. Work. This one is a Lexus called Reagan. This one is a BMW called Buy Sell, and the E in sell is a 3, which I thought was like so cool. This is a Range Rover called OG1. This is, I'll have to follow up with a group. This is like a hot green Mustang, maybe, called Goblin. This is a a Mercedes with Hootie, and I was like, is that Hootie in the Blowfish in there? Like, or is it just a fan? This is an Audi with Howdy 09, and it has like all pink Texas. So I think it's like a woman in there. This is Mrs. MG, but this goes on like this.
You've clearly got a lot there.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we could do a whole episode on that.
That's my perspective of moving from New York to Texas and driving, and I like here.
Well, so Sarah, we try to keep this talk to 15 minutes. It's supposed to be
just
a
took over.
webinar.
Yeah.
I do want to get into a little bit technology stuff, but that's okay. Oh, John's saying here in the chat that Sarah needs to start a Texas Plate Twitter handle.
You know, I have it ready. I'm just ready to go to market with it. Like, speaking of going to market, like, I'm just not sure what my angle is, but I have the information.
Yeah. So Sarah, you worked with your MSP partners through the pandemic. You saw them all going crazy, taking people remote, all of that stuff, and then cleaning up after, securing things. Like, what have things settled down? Have you seen with your partners? Like, what's the climate been the past couple of months compared to, say, like last year?
I think it's settled down a little bit. I think people are just trying to figure out, like, it's settled down of where, like, this baseline, and then they're trying to figure out like what's next. So it's like everyone's settled, everyone feels like, you know, safe, and networks are secure, and, you know, this is like a hopping pad or like a landing pad. But the next iteration, it seems like there's still confusion on what clients are doing next, at least for my partners. But my partners are preparing, you know, for going back to the office and what that looks like, staying remote and what that looks like. So I feel like it's settled, but we're not fully decisive. And I'm sure everyone here could resonate, you know, with that, where we're at.
And Sarah, you and I together were, you know, like, one of the hardest things for IT providers is communicating the need, and, you know, identifying things and making sure, you know, their customers are secure and being able to communicate that effectively. And we're doing a whole webinar on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming up.
Yes.
I'm very excited. November 4th. Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait for that. Sarah has a wealth of knowledge. She's very, very good at, you know, working with partners and helping, you know, get everything packaged right and make sense to end users. I think that's what you are just like so good at. So I admire you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, it's confusing, right? Like, many of my end users, and, you know, I know that Dave and Jonathan Harold, this will probably resonate with you, is like, many of them are not, they're not technical, like they're CFOs, COOs, and they just need to know that it's done and we don't have to worry about it. And they need something like physical or on the screen, like when we're reporting, to be like, okay, this is done. I have this ready in case someone knocks on my door and needs to see it. And just making it extremely easy, as affordable as possible, and exactly make it make sense. And I think our SEs do a really great job of being able to distill the technical information into like working information, business information, board ready information. So yeah, and honestly, it's a human business at the end. Like, I really enjoy my partners. I really enjoy our partner base. Like, my partners invite me to go on their like pontoons, and like we're friends, and, you know, like we send each other things. And so just, you know, that we're all in this together. We're trying to figure out, it's a moving large market. We're in a great space at a great time. And at the end of the day, we're all humans, just, you know, trying to do our best is basically how I've approached my book and my partners, and just getting them what they need.
It's well said. It's well said. And I think before we wrap up here, John, David, how are you guys doing?
Doing fine.
You go to John. We're good. It's Friday. I'm at my monthly quota. I'm also a chief prospector like you. And I feel, you know, this is a nice spot to be in with hot Friday and a whole nother week to go. Yeah, this is great. Business is good at River Run. We're keeping people safe. Thanks to Barracuda/Scout. You guys rock.
Thanks, David. Thank you very much. And just in case anyone was wondering where the Arizona Zoom backgrounds are, Harold is on a plane right now, so he's listening. I don't know. He might have had to like launch a VPN. I'm pretty sure they block Zoom on most.
Oh, Utah, not Arizona.
On there. So the gang's all here. Sarah, thank you so much for joining. We're gonna wrap up this week's episode. Harold's like, yes, they did block it, but you can't block him. That's true. All right. And for those watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week for another episode.
It was great to meet everyone. I'll friend you all on LinkedIn. And look for my Twitter feed. It's a little Texas